Hey, we are two Star Wars nerds, and today we are talking about why you should watch Project 4K80. So, maybe you're asking, like, what is Project 4K80? Or maybe you know, and you're here just to share some love about it. But essentially what Project 4K80 is it's a work of a group called Team -1, and it's a film restoration project. Mm-hmm. And so it's taking original theatrical film reels, and I mean, it's going into like digital noise reduction, no digital noise reduction, all this 1080p, so full HD, and then 4K as well. But not only archiving, but restoring Star Wars, the original trilogy, and even some of the prequels, essentially kind of back to that kind of former glory of like sitting in a theater seat, and in this case 1980, and seeing it how it would have been then. And it's really incredible. And maybe you're like, man, there's the CBS Fox VHS tapes, and then there's a special edition, and then there's the changes don't stop. And so we want to tell you 3 reasons in particular why we think you should watch 4K80. So the first one here is pretty unique, but essentially the idea was this: that you get to experience it like you're sitting in the theater. You get to experience the theatrical version.
We weren't alive.
No,
we didn't get to do that.
Sorry, you could dislike that, but we weren't even a thought. But so, I mean, lean into that just even a little bit. Like, what is that like? Because you brought that point up in particular. It's like we get to experience that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just can't imagine experiencing Star Wars when it was new and there was nothing. Like, I was alive for the prequels, but like everyone knew about the original trilogy, and I grew up watching it and loved it. And so I knew going into the prequels, like I was super excited, went to the midnights, dressed up, like that was just such a fun experience as a kid. And it'd be so cool to I just can't even imagine what that would have been like to see Star Wars for the first time, to see Empire, to see Return of the Jedi. I don't think I can even fully comprehend it. It was just a different time period. Like, people were excited in prequels, like people were dressed up, people were waiting in line, people were, standing up, standing ovation after. But again, we all kind of we had big expectations because we had seen, the original, for sure, where like these people walked in, even for Empire, like so you had to wait 3 years. Like, you don't know what happened after A New Hope or 1977 Star Wars. They had to wait. And so it's just like thinking about that, it's like, man, to just thinking about that excitement. And we even,
unreal,
when we just watched it, we even had our popcorn,
a little popcorn bucket,
because we were trying to make it, obviously our screen is not as big, but just trying to experience it in a way that we can. So we weren't alive yet. Yeah, and what's really cool is if you did see it, you get to have a sense of nostalgia. You get to, it's not going to be perfect, but I mean, with all of the changes, these, the special edition, even despecialized, I mean, Harmy's work is incredible. Amazing work. I love watching the despecialized. For me, Project 4K kind of sits in its weird space because it's like you're not getting like crystal clear perfection. The Return of the Jedi print, when we talk about that's insane, but it's like near perfect. But with this project that took 6 years, it's crazy.
It honestly, like, there's imperfections because of film quality and some degradation, and they took stuff from like Fuji and Kodak and like another reel, I can't remember the third reel, but all these different sources and all of this like manual hard work that they had to do, and it's is really awesome because it actually kind of adds to the character and quality a bit, where it's like, yeah, this is what it would have been like. So that's pretty cool. But really, past that, the nostalgia, the kind of fantasy aspect of it, if you will, you kind of get this despecialized plus in terms of, like, Boba Fett is not voiced by Tamora Morrison. You know, you have the original voice actor. You know, Sidious's face, Palpatine, right? It's not Ian McDiarmid. You know, it's like the original, and that's usually you see the thumbnails, and it's like so kind of shocking, like, oh my gosh, like that looks so different. And there's so much that is there, like even some of the matte lines that you see, some of the explosions, just like it's unreal.
Yeah.
To see, even by today's standards.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's crazy.
And we're watching it 44 years later. So good. Unreal. But then I think the third reason that you should watch this, honestly, is supporting the work of Team -1. It's really crazy because, like, if you just live in a fully digital space and digital world, you don't actually own the media that you love to consume.
Right.
It can be changed at any point. And so
experiencing that.
Yeah, and this is kind of an adjacent, but think of all the, like, if you bought big box computer games from like the early 2000s, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, like there's a point where like DRM and all this stuff starts to change a little bit, and it's like you need verification and you need servers. All of a sudden you can't play those games anymore.
Right.
And that's why we try and own every home video version we can. And Team -1 is really kind of pioneering, maybe not pioneering, so to speak, but they're at the forefront of this, and they're doing really, really amazing work. They have an awesome website you can check out in the description. Great blog posts. They go into massive detail, way more detail than like I can track with what they're saying, but when it comes to practice, no way. Like I will enjoy the fruits of their labor all day long. And it's a very costly thing that they're doing. So I think if anything, support them, show them love, tell your friends, get them to hop on it. Absolutely awesome. But I'm going to let you know about 2 ways you can watch this, because maybe you came here and you're like, how do I watch this? There's 2 ways. I'm going to tell you the harder way, and then you can say the easier way that we just did moments ago. So the harder way, you have to be a little tech savvy, but it'll walk you through. Just go to the StarWarsTrilogy.com. They have forums. If you don't know how to navigate forums, you're probably out of luck. But even past that, there's just some different ways. It's super clear. And if you've ever dealt with like just getting very, very large files, like it's really easy to do. Like once you know how to use like Resilio Sync and stuff like that. It can feel a little weird and like, man, I don't know how to do it. But the biggest thing is don't go to eBay and like buy a copy. Like don't go to like, you know, bobsvideomill.com and buy a Blu-ray edition of it like that. No, that's not what's going on. There are those official like releases that they have, and you want to go there. But
and you can also support them on the website.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
But why don't you tee up maybe a slightly easier way? Definitely not anywhere near getting it for yourself, putting it on your home server, watching it in your TV or whatever. But
you can join our Patreon and watch our watch along that we just did.
Yep. And it's us going through commentary and a lot of it in there. We're breaking down kind of like, here's where changes are made, you know, in the special edition or in the Blu-ray or the 2005 DVD release or Disney Plus or whatever.
Right.
And also it's just us watching a movie together. YouTube refuses to monetize this channel. We hope one day it turns around, but chances are it's not going to happen. And we would love to be able to do this more. And there's just also some really cool kind of like nonprofit faith-based things that we're looking to actually support. And so finances into, and we're like, hey, you know what? We love talking about Star Wars. I'm like, why don't we actually have that be a way to help pour into that as well? And so that's a cool way where we do lots of watch-alongs. And we literally minutes ago just stopped watching, or just finished watching, I'll say, Project 4K.
Watch it.
So excited. Been waiting for this for a very long time. Finally, version 1's done, and it's just going to get better from here. But with that, go check it out. Go follow the Star Wars trilogy on YouTube and check out their website, all that stuff. Support them any way that you can. And hey, if you're curious about Project 4K77 Star Wars, a little better known as A New Hope, check out this video because we cover it here on our channel as well. But we are two Star Wars nerds. May the Force be with you always.